Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel again. Look, Aaliyah's dancer breaks silence on Rock the Boat. My wife has sent me something on Instagram. It was like an article, but this, let me see, because I typed it in and this is Tony Turner video here. That's the title. Aaliyah's dancer breaks silence on Rock the Boat. Aaliyah been gone for a long time, man. Rest in peace. But I just want to see what she has to say, because we all know, or you guys, I don't know if you're up to date about the whole situation where Maxwell sent Aaliyah a plane, but what's his name? Hype Williams was the one who got on it, and it was really, really sketchy. I always say when like celebrities pass away, especially at such a young age, to me, it's always very odd and strange. Always. But we're going to check this out. Again, appreciate all the love and support. We ain't going to waste no more time. Let's jump right into it.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning back in. I'm back with another Aaliyah video, and this comes in a spontaneous way because one of her background dancers from the Rock the Boat video finally decided to speak out 24 years later. Not saying anything because I know how traumatic that was, and I can only imagine how traumatic that was. Dancing with Aaliyah, getting this opportunity, and then a tragedy like that happens. A quote-unquote accident like that happens. There's so much mystery and allure with that accident, but now 24 years later, Leslie Nicole Lewis, who's a veteran in this industry, who danced with Aaliyah and Rock the Boat and More Than a Woman, finally decided to come out and speak her piece on the situation. So if you didn't know, Sean from Boys and Men has his podcast, and he had Leslie Nicole Lewis as a guest. And he was speaking about his experience meeting Aaliyah. She talked about her experience working with Aaliyah leading up to that fateful shoot. And even she said in the interview, I'm gonna play the whole thing, where she was like, okay.
It's crazy when you see her and Aaliyah. I'll be seeing like some videos of people, they be making like celebrities that passed away and like what they would look like today. I seen one on, someone did one on Aaliyah, Tupac, like Selena. And you be kind of looking like, would they look like this? And then you see her and how she looked, like she still look young. So she would have been aging gracefully, man. Sad.
We was in Miami, we did this, we did that, and then we went all the way to the Bahamas for 8 count. Like, okay, you going to the Bahamas and we only gonna do like a little dance on a boat? Couldn't we have stayed in Miami? She didn't say that verbatim, but you get that kind of hint in what she was saying. And that's another thing that got me about the video shoot. When you really look at the video, they only went to the Bahamas for them to do the little dance on a yacht and for Aaliyah to dirty wine on the beach. She even described getting on the plane from Miami to the Bahamas. She felt a little sketchy. Let's take a listen.
Cycle, like,
So
suits.
we flew to Miami. Hype Williams was the director.
Shout out to Hype.
It was basically, we were shooting more.
That man said, he said, shout out to Hype. See, again, man, I don't know who be, when stuff comes out, who people be like, I don't believe that about Hype. Or people just so into the industry that they have to somewhat ignore things that are being said, because I'm pretty sure that Sean knows about the stories, about the whole, the drama surrounding her death. And he was like, shout out to Hype. As you got like her dancer right here speaking on her. That just felt weird, man. Kind of weird.
Than a Woman and Rock the Boat at the same, it was a 2-day shoot, or probably more than 2 days. We flew to Miami, we shot More Than a Woman, and then we flew from Miami to the Bahamas to shoot Rock the Boat.
Wow.
So that's kind of how that, so yeah, even though More Than a Woman, I can't remember which one got released first, but we shot both of the videos back to back with Hype.
I think Rock the Boat was released first. Because I think after.
I think so.
Yeah, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Even though we shot that one after.
Both records
and flying to the Bahamas, we said all of this for an 8 count. Like the planes felt sketchy because they were tiny, smaller planes,
Wait,
and
so-
I
so-
have.
So clean this up. So
Mm.
this is going to the Bahamas.
This is going
You're
to
already
film
feeling a certain
rock.
way. You're already feeling a certain way about the aircraft.
Walking on the tarmac to these small planes to get us to Bahamas, something just was just like, and I'm fearless when it comes to flying. I'm not one of those. I'm nervous to fly, so I definitely felt away because the plane just was like, oh, this is a tiny plane. We're going where? Here we go.
Your little antennas went up.
But I said my prayers. I think I had like a stuffed animal with me, like a good luck charm. And we got there with no problem. So it was great. And we were just happy to be down like that. Okay.
Wow. So what do y'all think about that? What are your first initial reactions to what she said, to what she felt, even going to the Bahamas and then knowing what happened afterwards? And I know how many of us Aaliyah fans are. Her timeline, some facts were a little off with like who directed this and where they did this, where they did that. But as confirmed, she was one of the background dancers in Rock the Boat and More Than a Woman. Here's a picture of her and Aaliyah on the actual boat they filmed the dance scene on. And here's some screen grabs from the actual video of them dancing together when they were dancing in front of the green screen. You can see that she was dancing quite close to Aaliyah. I'm just glad that she was finally able to come out all these years later and speak her.
So I'm just trying to understand. So was Aaliyah on a different plane at the time, or did the one girl leave earlier, or did Aaliyah leave? Maybe they'll talk about it.
Piece about it. No, this won't bring Aaliyah back. A lot of people, I've seen some criticism saying, oh, now all these people want to speak out. Why she didn't speak out when it happened? I'm like, how does a background dancer look speaking out about anything? Now, she had some type of eerie feeling about the flight going there. But as she said, she wasn't a scared flyer. They got there safely. What happened afterwards, she had no control over. She had no say-so, no power as a background dancer to tell them, I don't think Aaliyah should get on that plane. Like, you know, it's just like, it's just too much. You know, it's easy to say what coulda, shoulda happened all this time later. But she's just giving us her perspective, her feelings at that time. And you can see she even had some information misconstrued. So you could tell this happened so long ago. But she was actually there. And like I said, in the grand scheme of things, no, this won't bring Aaliyah back, but I'm just happy that more is starting to come out. Maybe some other dancers or some other crew members might speak out, because it wasn't only dancers, it was a lot of behind the scenes people, camera crew, this, that. You know how much money and production and how many
22.
people goes into making a video? We saw the behind the scenes. Maybe somebody else there might have some information or some insight on something, and it's been so long, it's an accident. You know, Aaliyah's been gone for 24 years. People just decided to let it rest. But like most of us know, most of us feel, something feels sketchy about the situation.
Very.
And for more insight on the whole entire Hype Williams angle, I did a whole video about this over 3 years ago called Hype Williams Silence After Aaliyah's Accident. So check that out if you haven't already. I go into great detail with that, including the lawsuits and everything. And not to harp on the situation, but this just confirms that we weren't the only ones thinking, did they really have to go to the Bahamas just for an 8 count when they were already in Miami, which was a perfect destination for the video's theme? But think about it from her perspective. She got this opportunity to dance with Aaliyah. She's not going to turn it down. She's not going to, oh, that's too much. First of all, you're going to the Bahamas, you're with Aaliyah, you're doing the video, and it's like you see behind the scenes, it was like a nice little vacation on the side in the Bahamas. Who would turn that down? But who would have thought? Who would have known? How would she have known what was to happen after the shoot? If you want to watch the whole interview with her talking about this, I'm going to leave the link down below. Again, Sean from Boys to Men got this podcast. He interviewed her. She talked about a lot of different things and just her work in the industry overall. But I know for all my Aaliyah fans out there, I just had to bring this to y'all. Not to upset y'all, but just for, it's like a little food for thought. Like, you know, more people are starting to come out and speak out. It's early, mid of the year. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows who else is going to speak out? Who knows what other information has been hidden, not talked about? Because, you know, the whole guise of this being an accident is what most people chucked it up to be. They took it and moved on. But this interview that just popped up just made me think about how there's definitely some missing puzzle pieces when it comes to this accident and the whole entire mystery surrounding it. And there's so much more I feel like needs to be explored. If you think it was just an accident, you know, so be it. Leave your thoughts down below. But if you think there's more, watching her interview, seeing what she had to say, what do y'all think about that? Overall, my feelings about the situation.
I'll say this. You know, I can definitely understand. Like, I hate flying. I do. I'd said it before. I love to travel. I love going places. I just hate how you have to get there. But I've done it. I've been many places. My last flight experience was not great. It was not great. Us coming back from Italy, I did not enjoy that flight back home. And then everything going on with the planes right now. But when you really gather all the information, see, it's tough, man, because you don't want to be sitting up here sounding like no damn, I don't know, man, but it's just be a lot of weird stuff going on. It does. But I just think people just don't really care that much, you know, until something happens to someone they truly love, you know. But this was very, very telling for her, the dancer, to come out after all these years and say what she said. Like, as a person who isn't scared of flying, to say, like, again, if I got this weird feeling, oh, we ain't getting on there. Oh, I ain't. Y'all want to go ahead. I'm good. I am good. Again, like, share, comment below what y'all think about this. Peace out.